Here they say y'alls with an S. I don't know why.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. The plural of y'all is all y'all.
Mm. I'm here with Snippins, Gil, Lishy, and today we're talking accents with friends who love to give each other the business.
There's a wide range of accents in the same Waffle House. There could be someone that's like, I know something, and then the other person just sounds normal.
Have you ever like heard people talking in a thick Southern accent and just not understand what they're saying?
Well, I did just see a great video of a guy talking with a Scottish accent that you couldn't understand.
Yeah.
In Appalachia, which is that whole mountain range that traverses, the southeast, there is a huge Scottish influence, and a lot of those accents from isolated areas are really difficult to understand, and the accents sort of migrated over the years. But I watch videos. I watch little YouTubes and Instagrams about accents, and accents are more based on financial status than on geographical, right? Like they were talking about the accents of the boroughs in New York are less about whether you're from Staten Island or from the Bronx than where you are on the scale of how much you earn. And a friend of mine, you may have met her. She was this girl. She's a pretty little black girl we used to work with. And she ended up becoming a craft service person, which is the person on a movie set that feeds the crew snacks. It's not the caterer that gives them meals, but it always keeps M&Ms and coffee around. That was her job. And she did a gig in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. And the accents in Chicago, they're very, there was a big migration from Mississippi into Chicago during the Reconstruction and Jim Crow and all that shit, the turn of the 20th century. And she could not understand the black people's Chicago accents because they're just so foreign to her. I thought that was pretty interesting.
I always think people from Chicago have a very they talk in a very nasal way.
Chicago is one of the most segregated cities ever. If you're in the numbered streets on the south side of Chicago, you go for from 35th Street all the way down to 115th, you're looking at 99% black. So that isolation of accents, it's not the Chicago accent in the black population in Chicago. It's not like they tell me I have a Chicago accent, but when I go home, it's like my sister, we're going to get in the car, we're going to go over to Ma's house, we'll go over to White Castle. And yeah, so that's definitely
which one's a couple two tree guys over there?
Because we're going to go over by Ma's, we're going to go over by there, and we're going to go over to Gene Jude's and get a hot dog. But yeah, it's the TH is a D, and the R's are very hard R's. Flat A's. And they get flatter. They get flatter the more north you go, and the O's get rounded when you get up north into Michigan and Minnesota.
Maybe it's just the people that I knew from Chicago had whiny voices. I don't know.
Well, because Chicago, the Chi-Town is different. I remember I lived in Illinois, in Glenview, Illinois for 2 years. That wasn't in the city.
No, Glenview's kind of like north and west.
Yeah, it's like a suburb.
And it's kind of, we call you cake eaters.
We didn't.
Oh, you guys have that too?
Cake eaters. They're the rich people. The bourgeoisie.
Yeah, the cake eaters.
So yeah, you don't have accents because you guys are all going to really good schools.
Oh,
Yeah,
like Ferris Bueller.
There really wasn't any accents in Glenview, Illinois. I remember because I was
right.
Because I watched Bob movies when I was a kid. I was like, I can't wait to meet a couple two tree guys. Get a couple two tree guys over by there, right? That's what I want. I didn't get any.
Yeah, you'd need to actually go into the city. Like when you're in Glenview, we're going to play tennis, Mom.
Yeah.
You have a transatlantic accent if you're in Glenview, apparently.
Yeah, like in Manhattan. In New York and Manhattan, it's not they don't sound like Gil.
No. Well, who does, though, is the real question. Now, Gil, when you go home didn't your relatives all move down to where you are now?
Just my parents, my sister, and an aunt. People are just still up there getting old and stuff. I was in California for 30 years, dude.
Yes, and you never lost your accent, which I find intriguing. Now, when you
it weakened.
Did it?
Yeah.
I mean,
when I go home to Chicago, they tell me I sound like a surfer.
See, every time I would go to New York, they told me I sounded like a hillbilly.
What? A hillbilly?
Snippins, you do anyway, though. You sound like the prospector from Blazing Saddles.
No, I don't think I do.
Well, like
Come on, darn it!
like when I do the AI voice for you, when I type bonies, it doesn't sound right. I have to type bonus, like a bonus award, and then it sounds like
Well, I do that because you make fun of me, so I affect it that way because of things you say.
the chicken and the egg shreds. I understand.
Uh-huh.
I'm an AI, but I sound like me bonus. I can say anything about fisting or whatever.
Gil, when you go back to New York, do they say that you sound less Long Islandy?
No.
I think you're still very Long Islandy. You don't think so? Say water.
Water.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You say water. That's what you say.
Water.
Water.
You know, you get a couple beers in, and that's when it comes out, right?
Water.
Mm.
Water.
My grandma lived in Chicago 50 years, and she still said Florida oranges.
Well, also because I've always wanted an accent. When we first escaped the Irans, we lived in London for 3 or 4 months waiting to stay there. And I would have had a delicious British accent,
Oh,
right?
Bonies, your life would have been so different
I know. And
with an
then
English accent.
and Americans would think I'm so smart.
Oh, now forget it. Ugh.
Yeah, when I was in IT, when I was in IT at Interlink, there was one time this British dude came into temp or something, and he was like, "Restart your computer," and everyone was like under their desk restarting their computers. Like I felt like going down and restarting mine, and all he had to do was say it with a British accent, and everyone did exactly what he said. It's because
Wow.
we think that, and I do too. We think British people are more intelligent just because of the accent.
Could be.
Yeah,
Well, there's a lot of British accents that don't sound
Yeah,
necessarily intelligent.
that's true. Well, I mean,
They got their own stupid people.
like the Liverpool one is more always like a question. Where the Beatles, like, what are you asking me for? Everything is inflected up at the end for the Liverpoolians. It's adorable. The posh British is what I would consider to be
London, yeah. And then the Wales accent is sounds like pirates.
Yes.
Oh, the Welsh. Yeah.
Yeah, Welsh.
Have you seen all of their vowels they throw together? Have you seen their street signs that are like 20 feet long because it's so many vowels?
Crazy.
Oh, we used to dream of living in a shoebox.
Books.
I'm gonna start doing YouTube.
Okay.
I gotta make a channel.
Over here.
I have to make a channel over here.
Oh, yeah. See?
I have to make a channel.
I will
over
be
here.
making a channel over here. I want to do like a cookie channel where I'm just like tasting different cookies.
I'd
I think I'm
watch
good
that
at that.
shit.
I think I'm good at that. Like I could be like, oh, that's a good cookie.
This one needs a dunk.
Yeah. Do you guys have favorite cookies?
Usually all a cookie has to do is show up, and it's my favorite.
That's it. I like that.
I'll even eat those fucking windmill cookies.
Oh, I like those. You know what I don't like are cookies with raisins in them.
The place here on the Meyer right here, they make the most delicious oatmeal raisin cookies, and Snippins won't have it.
Delicious.
They're so
Oh.
good.
Delicious.
I don't
Oh,
like raisins.
they're so
I don't like
good.
cookies with tomatoes in them.
Or pickles. I think. would
No.
I love pickles.
Ugh.
I don't like cookies with razor blades in them.
No. The worst.
When people try to like make their food more interesting or whatever, they put raisins in it. I don't know why that's the go-to thing to do if you're trying to Martha Stewart up your food.
M&M's was a craze for a while.
They don't
I'd
belong.
rather have a raisin than an M&M in my cookie.
Well, like my mom decided one year she was gonna make stuffing for Thanksgiving, and she put raisins in it. And I was like, why though? Why did you just ruin everything?
I don't like raisins in
They're
food,
awesome.
like food things. Like I
Mhm.
like
I go to the farmer's market on Sunday, and I got my fruit guy, and he grows grapes. And so he has bags of raisins, and his raisins are amazing. And then I was laid up for a while, so a buddy of mine brought me some Costco raisins, organic, sun-fed or grass-fed, whatever the fuck. And these raisins were dry as a fart, and they were bland compared to my fruit guy's raisin from the farmer's market. So I can see what you're saying, why raisins suck, unless you get them from my fruit guy. Then I could have like a raisin milkshake.
Well, I probably won't ever run into your fruit guy, so I'm just gonna continue.
can't take him across the border.
I'm not smuggling raisins.
Raisins you can't?
No, his fruit guy. If you have anything to declare, then he would have to say I'm a fruit man, and they wouldn't let him through.
And if we needed anyone to declare anything, we got Gil.
I
I
do
do
declare.
declare.
And then when you're saying something, you stop and then you say it again. I'll say, right?
Oh, come on.
That would be magnificent.
Nobody
Foghorn
does.
Leghorn. That's more New
Yeah.
Orleans.
Do you think I'm more of a Foghorn Leghorn or more of a Yosemite Sam?
You're more of a Yosemite
Yosemite Sam.
Okay.
for sure.
Pew, pew, pew.
I think you're the only person that thinks I sound Southern, though.
Southern.
He says I sound Southern.
Sylvan pointed
Like
out.
he always would say that I sound like I'm from New York, which is ridiculous.
You do sound like you.
The Long Island buddy pals.
My family on my dad's side is all from New York.
I'm
All the
jealous.
time you
I'm
do.
jealous. I wish I had a fantastic accent, but I don't. If I would say water and ma, like I would be like, "Hey ma," like if I did that, I would do that all the time.
I say that to my mom.
You say, "Hey ma,"
Hey, Ma, what are you doing?
in Cincinnati,
Ma.
you guys do ma.
I don't know. I do. I don't know what other people do.
All right, take it.
Yeah, I call my mom Ma. Well, when she was alive, I don't say my mother or my mom. I say, well, I mean, I'll say mom, but it's Ma.
I know what that creeps me out is when people call their dad daddy.
Yikes.
You're like, oh,
Yeah, that's weird.
Right. That is weird.
Papa
More-
creeps me out. I like Daddy better than
Papa.
Papa. Oh yeah, those are all dominatrix words.
Papa.
Papa's like 1940s, 1950s.
I was thinking like Little House on the Prairie or something.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
1840s.
Well, isn't that hey pa? Isn't that more pa?
yeah, that's more Pa.
You can't say that in mixed company.
Mm. So I have tallied our votes, and feel free to write in the comments section who you think is never right in this episode.
Is this natural?
No, because
You look
of-
like you're getting your driver's license
yeah,
picture.
there's like a foot and a half, there's a foot and a half above your forehead of space.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah, give yourself a haircut.
Move a little closer to the camera and angle it down a bit.
I am the great and powerful Oz.
I don't understand.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want more content from the Never Right podcast.